Come and check out the dress that I made for the Little Red Dress Project 2021. Hi YouTube, I'm Crystal of Crystalsewsandstuff.com. Welcome and welcome back to the channel where I share sewing pattern reviews and other fun related content. And so today I'm here to share with you the reveal of my dress for the Little Red Dress Project 2021. And if you didn't know, the Little Red Dress Project is a fun Instagram sewing challenge that Renata of the Twilight Stitcher has been putting on for several years now. And it is to sew up a red dress for the holidays. And this year, the challenge is hosted by Renata of the Twilight Stitcher as well as Keira of the Island Socialist. And I'll leave a link to their videos explaining more about the challenge. And this year, I'm one of the ambassadors for the challenge. And so I was so excited to be asked to be an ambassador. And today, I'm really excited to share with you my dress. This week is reveal week. So the challenge was started November 24th and it goes through Friday, December 24th. And this week is the week that you can go ahead and reveal your dress from December 20th through December 24th. So anyway, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more about this really fun dress. So the pattern that I chose for this dress is Vogue 1674. And this is a really, a pretty new pattern from Vogue. And it's a fun knit dress pattern. It's described as a fully lined, snug fitting dress. And I will agree with that description. Is designed to have a side zipper and is fully lined. And so let me tell you about the views. So there are 4 views on this pattern, but really 2 views and just some contrasting options. So views A and B have a one shoulder look. And so it has a nice shoulder, one shoulder, open shoulder on one side. It still has 2 sleeves, but one shoulder, it's like a big slash kind of cutout for it, and it's really cute. And so view A has the option of having a contrast bodice to the skirt portion, and view B calls for like a solid or just one print kind of pattern. And then views C and D have a crisscross style, and that's the style that I decided to go with. View C has the option to make your crisscross front in a contrast color or fabric, and then color or style of fabric or different pattern. And view D calls for just one solid color or a solid print, but not 2 different fabrics for view D. And that's the view that I decided to go with. And so let me tell you about what I made. So I sewed up view D, which is the option with the crisscross front. It has a nice pretty crisscross in the front, and then in the back there is a collar, a flat collar on the back side of the pattern. And so I really love this option for this fabric that I picked up. Now the fabric that I picked up is from Joann Fabrics, and it is a soft double-brushed polyester jersey, and the full name of it is called Red Black Shadow Vines, and it's a double brush polyester knit fabric in the Fall Ember collection. And it's a very beautiful deep kind of cherry red, and it has these black florally vines on it, and then it has kind of a dark shadow red to it as well. So I just really love this fabric. When I saw it, I just went on ahead and scooped it up. So the fabric calls for the pattern calls for 2 yards of your main fabric for my size, as well as 1 3/8 yards for the lining, which would come up to 3 3/8 yards of fabric. But I only used 3 yards for the pattern, and I had just enough fabric to go ahead and make this pattern. So you probably won't need quite as much fabric as they say, but I only used 3 yards, and this is a 58-inch wide fabric from Joann's. And so I don't have a lot left over because I used the main fabric as my lining fabric as well, so I didn't go buy a second fabric. So I just doubled up the fabric for the bodice pieces. So there aren't a lot of pattern pieces. You just have your front bodice piece, and that is cut twice, one for the fabric, one for the lining. You have your back bodice piece that's cut twice on the fold, one for the fabric and one for the line. The front is cut on the fold as well. You also have a front collar piece, even though it extends down to the waistline right here, and then it crosses over on both sides. So you cut that twice. And then it has the one back collar piece, and that's only cut once. And then you also cut the skirt pieces. You have your front skirt piece cut twice, one for the fabric and one for the lining, and then your back skirt piece, one for the fabric and one for the lining. You're free to use a different lining fabric instead of using the main fabric, but it was just easier for me because I didn't really have a matching fabric that I could have used for the lining. So, and plus it fit, especially for the front bodice, it'd be good to use the same fabric because even though you do understitch it in case it shows a little bit of your lining fabric, it's the same thing, so you won't even notice that your lining maybe is showing through. Because when you look down, you can kind of see it, but when you're looking straight on, you can't see any of the lining part. But anyway, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and cut out your front bodice piece, at least the front lining piece, in the same fabric as your main fabric. So that's what I did, and I really love how it turned out with this pattern. And I had just enough fabric, using 3 yards for what I chose. So there are notions required for the pattern. So the pattern calls for you to have an invisible zip, but I omitted the zip. I got to the point where I sewed up the whole front bodice, and I tried it on and I could get it over really easily. So I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip the zip. Plus I have a zip that's red, but it was a little too short, and then I had a longer zip that was navy blue and not black, so I really didn't have the correct zipper in the correct length. And so I'm glad it all worked out, and I was able to just go ahead and omit the zip. What I did was just go ahead and sew the side seams down and just applied the lining as normal. So the pattern was a very easy sew. I sewed up a size 14 and I graded out to a size 18 for the waist and hips for my measurements. But since there aren't a lot of pattern pieces, it was really a really easy pattern. The only kind of tricky part is maybe the front cross. And what you have to do is just really pay close attention to the diagram. Attach the 2 front collar pieces that go around to the back collar piece, and then that's folded down and then sewed, basted on the sides according to the diagram, and then you sew the front to the back. So it was really easy to go ahead and sew. You just got to make sure you don't catch the back into it. So I didn't make any other pattern changes other than grading out from a size 14 to a size 18 at the waist and hips, and I did not adjust it for height. I'm 5'1", so it comes just above my calves for me, so kind of midi length for me, and I like how it's laying. And I decided to do that instead of shortening because I did like the length when I kind of laid the pattern pieces up against myself with a quick little tissue fit to see where everything would hang. And I was happy with the length of the pattern, but you might want to go ahead and shorten or lengthen it according to your height, because you can even tell even from the pattern picture that some of it, you know, on her it comes a little bit lower, but on this young lady it comes a little bit higher, just over her knee. So you just want to double check the length of it before you finish up, especially if you're taller. You don't want to go ahead and have it too short, but this is where it comes out a little bit longer than it does on the person and the lady, the model in view A on me. Couple notes that I wanted to let you know about. There is elastic. There's a little elastic channel right here in the top shoulder area, and there's an elastic guide within the pattern. The only thing that was one of the things I wasn't I didn't love about the pattern is that it has an elastic little channel, but they don't really tell you how much to take off. I just made sure I put it in. I got a little bit of give to it, so it does have a little bit of give to it, and I said, okay, that should be enough gathering to hold up the sleeves on it. So it's kind of like a cap sleeve, so they hang pretty well, but there really wasn't a good way to judge if it was going to be too loose or not until I got to try it on. And fortunately it did work out, and I did add just enough give to it by with the elastic for the shoulders. So I cut off about, I would say, 1 inch from what was in the elastic guide. So it would have been a little bit, it would have just fell down if I had made it looser, exactly the length of the elastic guide. And they do tell you to trim it, but they're not clear on how much give it should be. So I just kind of looked at the picture and saw that it was kind of gathered in. I tried to match the picture with the amount of give that it looked like in the picture with my actual pattern piece. So, but I wish they would have said, okay, you might have to take about an inch or so off for it to make sure it can hold on to your shoulders. The only other thing is the back collar piece is a little bit drapey. So I thought it would be more of a smooth finish, and I do like how it looks. But when you look at the pattern piece, it looks like a really smooth kind of back pattern piece. So it's more of a drapey look on me because this is a jersey knit. So just keep that in mind. If you do go with a jersey knit, that would that's the kind of, you're going to get more of a drapey feel and not a flat kind of back piece to the back collar. And the knits that are suggested for the pattern are two-way stretch knits with 50% cross grain, things like rayon spandex and cotton spandex. This is a polyester spandex, and I think this has the right amount of give. So I'm thinking maybe if you made this in more of a ponte, it would get more of that flat back collar. But with a drapier kind of knit like this, it's going to give you more of a gathered feel. And it's pretty, but it just is not exactly like the picture. Like this front picture, you can even tell that hers looks really, really flat in the front as well as on the diagram in the back. But if you use like a drapier knit, you're going to get more of a gathered kind of look. And I like the way it looks, but it's just a little bit different than the pattern picture. Now I'm going to share some fun pics and twirls of me wearing Vogue 1674 for the Little Red Dress Project 2021. So those are the pics and twirls of my little red dress using Vogue 1674. I really love how it turned out. Let me know what you think about this dress in the comments, and if you've sewn it up, I'd love to know what you think about it, and then also so other people can know what you think about the pattern. I really think it's a great pattern. I would say it's not really, even though Vogue says it's easy, with Vogue you got to kind of go up a level when you read the skill level. So if it says easy, it's kind of a more intermediate to an advanced beginner. It's not difficult, but there are a lot of steps. So because it's lined, they do call for an invisible zipper in a knit, even though I didn't add that, which is more of an advanced skill. But there aren't a lot of pattern pieces. That's what would give it the easy level. But as far as skill, I would say you at least need to be kind of an advanced beginner to lean in towards intermediate for this pattern. You can just take your time to pick. The diagrams are really clear and the directions are great for this pattern. So even if you're more on the advanced beginner side, I think you can handle it. It's just that you gotta take your time with it. But because the directions are very clear and straightforward. So I did enjoy the directions for the pattern, but I would not say this is for a very beginner. So it's easy, but not beginner. So I would say more advanced beginner as far as skill level. But I do suggest this pattern is really cute. I would love to also sew up the one with the kind of one shoulder kind of look, the one open shoulder look. I think this is super, super cute as well. So anyway, I highly suggest this pattern. And remember, if you do want to go ahead and participate in the Little Red Dress Project, you have until noon Central Standard Time, US, to go ahead and submit your entry on Instagram, and be sure to tag the Little Red Dress Project 21, as well as tag Renata at the Twilight Stitcher, as well as Keira at Island Socialist, so you can be entered into the fun prizes. And I'll leave the links to those videos from Renata and Keira, so you can go ahead and check out all the details of all the fun prizes and the great sponsors for the challenge. All right, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a thumbs up on your way out. Let me know what you think about this dress in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. All right, happy holidays to you all and have a great day. Take care. Bye.